so far. It allows you to play a lot of aggressive mid-jungle combinations, which we've seen be the key to a lot of the meta so far. Even really trumping stuff like the Lee Sin, which is still available. We've got Lee Sin, we've got Wukong on the other side. What is Karsa feeling on that side? We might see ourselves we can see Syndra, we can see Ahri, we can see Talia, we can see Veigar comboed up from Yagao for that kind of Vi combo. On the other side, we have talked about the power of Annie being strong in mid-jungle 2v2, being strong in the support role. You can lock this in maybe with something like a Lee Sin as well and threaten strong mid-jungle 2v2, but just having this for your flex pick on red side allows you some of that ability to just consider your champion pools a bit more, as we've been asking for from Weibo.
As Viego gets locked in, this was the ban from Weibo 2 games in a row on the blue side, so they obviously want to play a very different styles, but BLG, no Zeri up and available. Let's see what they do, Nymaera, because already trying to flex around with their potential AD carry / mid options if we're looking at the Tristana. And Elk is someone, again, with old Mr. Reliable, you expect nothing less than something like the Aphelios that he's never died on this entire split.
Undefined KDA, incredible player of the champion. We've got the Thresh Aphelios coming out from BLG's bot lane. Elk in the series versus RNG showed off some really beautiful mechanics on the champion as well. We've seen both him and Abel from OMG pull out some of the 3 and 4 weapon switches where you run your ammunition down low, switch over with a cast of ability, and then change over to another more suitable weapon combination in the fight. So we'll have to be aware of that from Weibo. If they choose to take the fight to him early, he's shown some great form on this champion recently.
That Weibo fan, I could swear she was crying as well, seeing the Ksante maybe locked in. I think Weibo fans, you know, at this point, would be more than crying. Nymaera, I have to correct myself. In playoffs, of course, Elk already has played 2 games. He has died on the Aphelios, but during the regular season, Deathless still stands. But still, a good champion for Elk historically as well. As for Weibo, they're trying to give a bit more comfortability to TheShy here on this Ksante top. Gwen taken away, which been piloted in game 1.
So trying to take away some of those counter pick matchups can come in from Bin, but Bin just has such a large champion pool. What are you going to do with this top lane matchup? Feels like even if you get rid of some of his primary champions, he'll have something else to bring to bear. Now, of course, you can take away something like that Jax as well. Of course, that will be a ban there. Kennen up and available. It's not necessarily the best thing into the Ksante individually. We've seen some different Kennen builds come out. If we want to see some more sidelining, seen some Conqueror with Heartsteel. There is some weird tech out there, folks, but have to see what Bin chooses first and foremost. I would expect the AD carry to come in here from Weibo to preserve that Annie being flexed between mid and support, but maybe choose that a little later. It's actually not going to be that flex. Last pick AD carry. How often do you see that?
Not often, right? And especially for someone like Light. I mean, they already know what they're going into the bottom lane, but that Nautilus is going to be coming through anyway. And especially for Crisp, he's been a pretty big Nautilus, Leona. You know, we saw the Thresh earlier on as well. These have been some of his highlights, but today it just hasn't been there with some of the engages. Let's see if the Nautilus changes that. As for BLG, you already mentioned Kennen, not strictly something we talk about up in the top side. Or won't be anyway just yet, as Yagao picks up his Veigar. This is how he ended against RNG as well, at least one of the games. Nymaera, BLG are just going back to comfort, and after playing a game on this top, look at this stone cold killer, ready to handle this dinosaur. Maybe for a last time. Oh, don't flex it. Don't flex the
give us that.
Fiora. That's a bit of hope. I mean, having said that, that would be exciting. But Kennen in the end, all right.
The thing is, right, this is the difficulty of drafting against Bilibili Gaming in this current iteration. You see all of those hovers. All of them are suitable picks. It's just what they're feeling at the moment. They go towards that Kennen. As we said, there's some build diversity. There is the chance that this is not full AP burst. When you do have the Varus and the Annie to burst out, of course it is valuable. It's double AP, CC, solo lanes from BLG, so expect a load of Mercury's treads to come out from Weibo where appropriate. Lots of combos for BLG to play towards. And Weibo, short-range team on the whole. You've got the Viego, the Ksante, and the Nautilus who, if they don't pick their angle well, if they go too deep, there is a cage, there are hooks, there's the Graviton route, and of course Kennen and Vi adding to the CC combo. Weibo, they will need to be so clean when it comes to team fighting, which they haven't done in the series so far, but that's their challenge, even though their run hasn't even ended yet in years. I think it was 2017 since they've reached the heights which they've done before. Across other regions, KT Rolster achieving similar in the LCK. Feels like there's a bit of a wind of change to earlier seasons coming in. See how this one ends. Weibo, one last chance at it.
with all the experience on the roster, you expect a lot. There's a flash stretch line. Elk is down a flash. That's an explosive way to start, but a positive one for WBG.
Okay, so Hex Flash there for Crisp. Of course, if you get bush control, you can sit in there, try and look for a flash auto, flash hook. Gives you some ability to play through some of that playmaking. With Karsa on early damage, Viego can, of course, help with that scenario as well. So, Weibo, they haven't really managed to blow open bot side in this series just yet, partly because they've been falling apart throughout other parts of the map, but they're looking, again, really using this Nautilus level 1.
They're going to be spotted out by Yagao, though. Gets a little bit of a stack of the Dark Matter, too. Or rather, the Primordial Evil. So, for Yagao, that spot out was crucial to stopping Weibo. They drop a ward on their way out, but go back to normality. And Shun is starting on the other side of the map. With that information from Yagao, BLG, just a massive 5-head start here for their jungler.
It is. So, it's a better sign for Weibo that we have seen for quite some time. Definitely not in this series have they had the cleanest early games. Got those runes flashing up on screen. It is going to be the Aerie on Bin, so it's not going to be something like a Conqueror for crazy side laning potential, or something like a Riftmaker Cosmic Drive. Don't think we're going to be seeing something like a Heartsteel either, which, yes, we have seen that in pro play. It's just going to be AP Burst and Bin trying to lend himself towards those 5v5 scenarios. And
again, in a comfortable lane where Bin has been great, whether the lane matchup's been against him or not. Shun's played paid quite a lot of attention up there too, as we are looking towards Karsa on this bottom side. Now, picture in picture, did Wolves reset? No.
I think what they're doing this for is they're saying, he's level 3. There's no flash on the AD carry. He's on the bot side of the map. Let's see what he can do here. See, Bin.
Spotted though.
He's spotted, yeah. On that ward across that river. So, Crisp misses that hook in that bot side, makes things a little bit awkward, and now BLG, for once, having to deal with aggressive early game from Weibo.
Red line does come in. Speak of aggression, there it is. The 2v2 begins yet again as Elk just starts spinning away. Good little trade there as well, as Light moves down to almost half HP off the back of it too. But they'll still have dominance here as Karsa's doing the red buff. Needs to smite this away. Without smite range, and Shun, he gets it. It was very close, but Karsa, who's trying to build this bridge into a successful game, is slightly denied by Shun again.
What's he going to do here? Is he going to flash over? He's positioning as though he wants to flash over. I was wondering if there was going to be some even stranger things to happen. Not to be the case at this point, just looking for that. The Scar reward over the Tri-Brush, gets some vision at that point. And Shun, been deprived of a number of camps. Heading into the river again. His bot lane does not have priority. He needs to be very careful when kind of fishing around these jungle entrances. Now just going to cross over mid, help Yagao get control of that lane. Maybe he can buy his mid laner a reset.
And for Karsa, they're actually going to turn into a little bit more. Yagao is now between this pivot and river. He's got flash available, but Crisp and Karsa quite a bit away. Yagao playing towards his jungler. Karsa, after he's been spotted out, it looks like he won't be able to get too much done. It's a scuttle trade here with Shun making his way up there. Meanwhile, look at topside. I mean, look, TheShy, he's going to be down quite a bit of CS, and Nymaera, you know where this is going.
There is a chance that there was a flash Q on the turret, but especially with W unlocked from Ksante with that damage reduction, makes it a little bit hard to pull that one off. So, as it stands, Karsa getting the edge in the early jungle matchup. Lanes have not really felt the impact of this quite so far, despite, or rather, only really Yagao, who has done something else there. Xiaohu teleporting into this bot lane. He has flash, he has his stun charged up, and there's a wave here. Elk has no flash, has no cleanse, and flash rather.
On does flash away. There's a Dreadlon that comes through already in the pass. There's the flash from Light. They want to get this kill. They use everything and the kitchen sink, and it works out. Elk at the range here in the end. Won't hit Light, but for Xiaohu, that was the stretch, but it must have felt good.
Oh my word, I was just sitting there wondering about the summoner spells, who's the target. Elk had the cleanse, had no flash, but he also has no heal, so he can't save on. And despite the flash being there from the Thresh, it is not enough to save his life, and now Yagao is the one. He's teleported down towards his bot lane to help his wave in his bot lane as lane gets shoved in. So Elk not going to be the one to die. It's going to be Xiaohu which picks up the kill on the other side with this Annie, which does have such good point-and-click CC. Flash away, but the point-and-click's already on point. The damage is done. You can't cleanse off an ignite from a teammate, despite the Lantern Shield being there. Weibo have enough damage to get themselves first blood for this all-important game for them. Does mean, though, that with the resets afterwards, Dragon gets taken from BLG.
To say, I mean, for BLG, that is a plus, right? You know, we haven't talked too much about the comps here, but I see Aphelios, I see Veigar. I see a lot of scaling coming through Nymaera, and again, with Bin and how he's going to play this game, it does feel like for BLG, getting some of these objectives stacking up early, especially when it's Chemtech Dragon to start us off. Just feels like the value in BLG is still there, despite that first blood going over to the mid lane in Xiaohu.
So, of course, Weibo not going to turn down that early gold at all, even if they give up the objectives for it. I think in this game, they can't really afford to lose kind of fighting prowess if they fall behind in combat stats. It feels like BLG, with all of their teamfight CC and the ability to kind of invite Weibo into them and burst them down, be very dangerous for them. Yagao getting it out onto the map. TheShy might have to blow his flash at this point. Bin maybe goes forward with the ult.
Yeah, there's a slicing maelstrom. He's already flashed, as you said. The nuke comes in, though. Yagao launches everything in the kitchen sink, and Bin gets the kill.
Yagao's playing this Veigar as though it's a LeBlanc. How the heck does he get out to that top lane to get that kill so easily? TheShy, he did pretty okay with the early lane, at least this one time. He took some bad trades, but we thought it was kind of going to be okay. At least soak that matchup. Now losing another wave into turret. If that wave had evened out, that CS difference wouldn't look nearly as bad. He's lost his flash. He's lost his wave to that turret and lost his life.
All of it.
Once again, we have ourselves a top diff starting to build.
I mean, it's rough, though, isn't it? Because TheShy getting ganked consistently as that death sentence was not great. Thresh line going to come through. In a 2v2 in the bottom lane, who wins this? Is Light going to be going forward, but Elk has got himself so many shurikens. You can't stop that with your quiver as the Dark Passage taken. Karsa now with a flash on in as well. Heartbreaker, Showmaker, Staymaker as Elk just runs back to the turret. He's still alive. There's a reset there for Karsa, but Elk's already out of there. A response from Weibo, but it took a lot to get the show going.
It did, but at least they get something. 2 kills onto On's Thresh at this point. When On has been comfortable in a game, starts to really fly off the handle and make big plays. At least keeping him down is something. Even in gold, there is some gold onto Karsa's Viego. Karsa had a quiet series so far. It's a 3-up and switch from Elk again. So Infernum, when you pull that across the wave, gives you a lot of chakrams. Uses the onslaught of the Severum. Look how many chakrams he has stacked up. Honestly, Chris just should never pull that hook at that point. This is the strongest point in power for Aphelios once he kind of goes from the AoE of the Infernum kind of to stack up the chakrams so quickly. Very lucky to at least have Karsa in the back pocket to clean things up, but that was a very misjudged hook.
Oh, speaking of which, Chris, dude, what is he doing? I'm not sure. We don't have context on that one, but so far this game number 3, Crisp has just been all over the place.
That's going to be a Herald gone as well. For all of the early game praise we've given Weibo, giving over that Herald, that's dangerous because suddenly you can make a big power play with that Herald in whatever lane you should wish at that point. You've got to assume that probably be heading in towards the Aphelios if you had the choice, but even someone like Bin, if you can build up a side lane advantage, we've seen how well he can play through that one. So I assume that Weibo, they moved up towards that Herald, tried to make a play around mid-jungle, move up into that top river, and Crips kind of gets caught out before he can really get into a safe spot. As it stands now, though, Karsa, he's at least here to contest the scuttle, but Weibo swinging a miss around that Herald.
Again, with the Herald going down, we'll see where it gets placed. Nymaera at the very least. We're going to talk about topside, though. All out going to be used. Okay. TheShy onto Bin. Now there's the slicing maelstrom. The all in, the all out. Wants revenge. This series been all about Bin, but Karsa comes in. Finally! That's what jungle attention looks like at the top side for the man, the myth, the legend, TheShy. Not going to get the kill, but Karsa is now evolved.
That is an important kill. It stops Bin just slowly accruing this advantage over time. That CS advantage we were getting a bit worried about after the kill topside, basically nullified. You're getting a little bit of magic resist in for the Ksante as well at this point. This is going to be probably that Proto Belt teamfight first Kennen. It's not about extended damage in side lanes. At that point, maybe TheShy can say, I can just soak this lane, and for once, you don't have to worry about Bin on the side lane. Don't know if that's going to be enough to see Weibo through to strong team fights themselves. They have a lot to worry about on the side of BLG when it comes to that point, but it's something.
But it is something, right? And at least we can start talking about a man who we don't normally talk about in this prime position to carry. With a Viego 2-0 start, with Divine Thunder here, Nymaera already picked up, we have strength. Now, as this ward gets cleared away, he has been unspotted moving towards this dragon. is he moves the Fog of War 10 seconds to go, so you know that there should be a tension bot here. Weibo are just looking for that pick-off again that gives him more leverage.
It's Karsa. He's kind of going to be the person looking to make the knockout blow, especially with something like a Varus arrow adding into that equation too. If Weibo finds CC, BLG do need to be careful at that point. If Weibo get first into the river, they have pick combos. Speaking of those pick combos, Shun on this fight, been a little bit quiet. Haven't really managed to achieve that much on what is one of the highest priority junglers across the world in the meta right now. It has been comboed up with so many different champions to give guaranteed kill combos. He's now heading towards this top side to put the hurt down on TheShy again, who just, again, wishes that teammates didn't exist when they come into his lane.
He's
he had the one positive look at it, but he's decided like, oh, what do you mean he gets a Herald in his lane? Why don't I get one of those? That's going to be 3 plates going down to the side of Bin and Shun.
It's a turret. I think it might be the turret as well. I mean, it's so low already. BLG, correct myself. It is, as you said, 3 plates, but not the turret in total. Wave is going to be cleared away, but yeah, a reality check for TheShy once again as Weibo try and group up to the bottom side. It's a singular plate here for Light and Crisp as Karsa is hovering nearby, but is spotted on a ward. BLG have full information, and Yagao just playing Fog of War himself to make sure that it doesn't go any further. So a net win here for BLG with that Herald. Nymaera, gold is dead even, or at least back 2.
It is. So Weibo, at least they get themselves some plates, as you're saying, down towards that bot lane. They're looking for a fight. Not assault.
Charge Karsa coming through. He flashes Heartbreakers in, but the Dark Passage saves the day. The arrow ignites. Okay, Crisp, I will shut up, I promise you. As Bin's coming in with a flash himself. That ulti's going to be massive. Karsa is the target here. He's about to die. He gets nuked. The flash ulti from Yagao. Veigar presses and everybody stops. The Shun flashes. He wants that little cease and desist, but lights out of range. A bit of a mistake here, but BLG will still profit off of Karsa's death.
Yeah, he's got the spirit at least as Shun trying to pick off another kill in that one fight. TheShy is left alone with this top side, but Bin, huge value out of the 2 kills in the cleanup. It's an even trade, I suppose, with all things said and done. Yagao going to get himself one last plate on this bot side. As 13 minutes ticks over, only 1 last minute on those plates. I'm not really sure we're going to go see any more of those taken across the board. It's an even-ish early game, which we haven't seen, really, from the first 2 games. It has felt like BLG have found advantages somewhere or another across the maps. This is still an improvement for Weibo, but they have needed to improve, and they are still not out of the woods yet.
And so let's look at where that improvement needs to come from, right? Jungle, we already know is quite good. As I'm going to hold my tone, because top lane is getting a little bit dicey. Bin, will he find himself knocked back? Protobelt out of the way. As, okay, BLG are hovering again, so TheShy just has to make it out of dodge. Karsa's red buff's going to be threatened. There's cease and desist.
No ult.
We didn't see before. On, he flashed for that hook. Beautiful stuff from the support. With 4 out of 6 kill participation. Now that pick onto the jungler. BLG have topside control, but Xiaohu and Crisp thinking
they
about...
They don't have an AD carry. This is really dangerous for them.
Oh, he gets out. Yeah, Xiaohu playing with fire, literally. But Weibo Gaming losing their jungler. Nymaera, that's a bit before Herald spawns as well, so they've got a minute to set up.
They do. So, Shun not going to be able to find a pick off in this mid lane, and at least that death timer is not closer to the objectives. That could have been very dangerous. But this is what we needed to see from the Vi, which we haven't really seen in this game so far. Comboing onto someone and of allowing other teammates to get that CC, just as Crisp did for his jungler at that point. This one was a shooting from the hip, though. Snipes down Elk, doesn't need any of his teammates CC to get that one on target. Gets the kill, at least.
We look back to live, though. TheShy just got ganked again, and this turret, you know, should be going down. Turret play's gone down. The turret becomes so much squishier. And first, turret blood goes over to BLG for Weibo. Now looking for a response in River, but you can see BLG just get the turret, get out Nymaera, and they're suddenly up 2,000 gold.
So Xiaohu is behind enemy lines here. They see the movements on.
Crisp is, but he flashes anyway. Gets a stun onto the enemy support. On is going to dive. And the kill goes down to Light. Quick reset here in front of the Herald. And I said before, Weibo, Nymaera looked like they lost it, but quick reset here. And Karsa's going to start it up.
Yeah, BLG lost their vision in their topside jungle. They couldn't retreat to their camps, which is what Shun was looking to do. There is no flash on Xiaohu at this point. Ults are available from Weibo. Are they still looking to fight? Yes, they are.
And look at Elf's gun. They pull the trigger straight away on the Shun.
Oh!
Bin's ulti. It electrifies him. Yagao nukes down. There's another one as well. Elf starts shurikening it up. Shun Oh man, his death does not come in vain because BLG clean it up again.
Gives up his life for the cause. BLG. The storm crests over the horizon. It's been on the Kennen. This is what Weibo could not do when they were faced with a top lane advantage. Because actually, you see the CS lead. You see what TheShy is doing in that top side. Doing pretty well in the individual matchup. But BLG keep their top lane relevant and give him entrances into these fights. They use a lot onto this one jungler, multiple ultimates, that leaves them without these tools to really clean up the rest of the fight. Yagao singles down one target. You got single target damage coming in from Elk afterwards with Crescendum picked up. Yagao even gets the Herald, doesn't need a smite for that one. Comes now onto the rest of them's map, almost at his second items. Weibo in the river again. They couldn't make the big picks before that last fight to win that Herald fight, and now they're without ultimates for this Dragon Spawn.
And look, even though BLG are losing some ultimates themselves, they got almost 2 items from some of these carries. We're looking at Yagao being yet again performing well. Weibo are happy to lose their mid turret while I'm chatting away here, but they're going to get Dragon because of it. But Nymaera, 5 members
this is not a good trade.
Dragon is slow.
It's getting so slow. They're losing 2 turrets for this. Yes, you're stopping BLG getting towards more neutral objectives, but how do you expect to be able to play through the mid game and later on when you've got no mid lane turrets to help you put vision down in your jungle? It's so very important to have those structures to retreat to when you're fighting around your jungle entrances. BLG, if they want to play through pick combos like their Kennen over a wall, like the Thresh, like the Vi, like the Veigar cages, this is such a big moment for them. And Weibo, I don't think they understand the implications of sticking on that dragon for so long.
Look, decision-making hasn't been their strong suit this series, Nymaera. Let's be real, Weibo have been the worst team by far. BLG, right now, deserving of what looks to be a 3-0. In our round 3 of playoffs, I thought this one, if it was this close, well, sorry, it's not close. If it was closer, would be a potential game 5, would be back and forth between BLG and Weibo. I thought that today Weibo would come in looking like a stronger team, but they've obviously been sitting on the bench, and back to the bench is where they'll continue to sit by the looks of it. BLG 1 step away for the first time in 4 years in returning to the top 4. It would be such a momentous occasion, as you said, also denying Xiaohu from returning to the MSI.
Doing it with Tabe coming in as their coach as well. BLG coaching staff change mid-split, leading BLG to more stability in their back half of the split. Bin, he has his ult. He doesn't have a flash. That's a lot of members on top side.
Flashing out from his edge. Red blind comes through. It's pretty clean from Weibo in the end as Karsa picks up the kill yet again. And Tibbers absorbs the rest of the damage. So a quick pick off the side. But Nymaera, BLG are trying to find a pick themselves. So
Xiaohu has no HP. He can't still be at this fight. Shun, he does not want that fight.
Shades of corruption over the wall. That's a double stun there as well. The poke through, but Chris doesn't take the engage instead. Weibo don't make it over the wall, and Chris has to flash away. It looked like a good punish of a messy play, but it became a messy punish of a good play.
Yeah, that one got a little bit weird. I think BLG communication there is that, hey, Ben's dead, but he's done enough damage to make things awkward. Now, Weibo, they're sticking around on this top side. I don't know why they're sticking around for this long. Maybe waiting for Ben to teleport back to the waves so they can catch him off again. Or maybe Yagao, since he's in this lane. I don't think BLG spot this one out. Yagao has flash. What can he do here?
Okay, well, at the very least, hello. He got flashed himself, as you said, depth charge. He's away the baby cage.
Oh, they can't get out.
As a TP. BLG to put the finishing touches on this series. It could happen right here. Finn doesn't have the ulti, though. TheShy teleports in as well. Elk on the back line here. The cage is out yet again. Light poke not doing too much here as that broke down. A 5v5 that just happens to tear apart.
BLG are very, very sad they didn't have a Kennen ultimate off of cooldown for that play. It was seconds away from catching Weibo in a very awkward spot. Zooming in on Chris on that Nautilus, wandering his way back out onto the map, but because they have reset BLG, they say, hey, we've got this chakrams on the Aphelios. Incredible Baron damage. Let's see if we can force Weibo into us.
They need something here. They need a pick. They need a steal. Nymaera, they need something. Otherwise, Weibo are going to get 3-0'd by BLG. And as Karsa dies on the back end from the range and Elk, there ain't no smite still. Weibo came in as favourites, but they look like they are leaving here as losers. BLG smack them in their place again.
It's a death sentence for Karsa, a death sentence for Crisp, and with that level of power play available to BLG, it could very well be a death sentence for Weibo Gaming. 4th seed versus 5th seed. Maybe that would have fooled you into believing Weibo were the favorites today. They were close in the regular season. It has been anything but today, but it's BLG pulling so far ahead.
4-1 out, guys. Weibo Gaming, 6,000 gold down. This is the time that Bozo comes out to play. Rest in peace. BLG at this point, 16 on the Veigar coming up, Nymaera. He's so far ahead. It had to be mentioned. That's a 3-level lead through mid lane with a 30 CS lead as well. Now, Ben might be walking into trouble around this dragon, but Weibo still sticking around. There's the flash. Okay, Tippers comes out, Train to Corruption. There's the pick. It enables Karsa as Weibo might still be in this. The Hex Flash over the wall, not taken as Karsa's still spotted here. BLG 25 seconds to the dragon, and they're still pivoting.
They are, but that was the anti-ultimate used. They do have Hook. They do. That's an Inferno waiting for them.
Flash away, it is indeed. Elk on the back end trying his might, but On is just caught out. Meanwhile, as you said, through mid, it's a bit of a push here, but TheShy stays back to defend as Elk, Shun, and Yagao moving as a unit. Crisp has only Hex Flash. Stretch line not into the cage as TheShy has to dodge away again from all the evil that Veigar spews. Karsa ready to go back
trying to take
in.
the 5v3. They're trying to keep them on the map. They realize they don't have their teammates there right now. This is Weibo's moment.
Okay, well, can they find it? TheShy's going to be found in the middle. He flashes away. There's a depth charge, but again, BLG still healthy as Elk gets the ulti on the back end. Oh no! They're going to 3v5 this time. Nymaera, I'd be scared. Xiaohu and Light aren't even in the fight as Karsa has to back away. They'll kill Light on the back end as no! Crisp these dredge lines. Oh, again! And again! And again! Bilibili Gaming will not be tested by you!
Elk turns him into roadkill. He puts them to the wayside, and Weibo Gaming, in their moment, in the 5v3, they can't get it done. BLG storm towards the Nexus.
And Nymaera, for the first time in 4 years, BLG will move to the top 4. Weibo will be not denied their mid laner Spring King in returning to the MSI, and the favorites are dead. Long may Bilibili reign.
Incredible series by BLG on the day. They move on, of course, to face one of our very top JDG beyond them. That will be a terrifying matchup for them in some ways, but it will also be an opportunity for Yagao to face the team which he won his championship with just last summer. History abounds in so many matchups in the LPL, but as we cut things down to our elite few, they become that much more tantalizing. BLG now with a 50% of remaining scenarios where they could end up